So today I wanted to come on here to do a before and after like glam transformation. So obviously this is my before. This is what I look like when I wake up in the morning. Very, very adorable. I am blind, so obviously that's why I have glasses on, and I never do my hair. So that's why that's going on up there. Also, I broke my nail. I slammed it in a drawer, so yeah, there's just a lot going on right now. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the way that I look right now. I mean, my boyfriend still loves me even though I look like this in the morning, but I just wanted to show you the before and after of how I do my makeup so that I feel confident and I feel like I can go out in the world and be a decent looking human being. So obviously I look slightly different right now from the last clip, and that's because I decided to put my hair back a little bit, make it look a little bit more presentable. All I did was do a couple of Dutch braids on either side, put on some cute little earrings from Forever 21, and then I changed my top because I'm thinking I kind of want to do like a green look today, so I figured I would wear a green shirt. I was gonna do like black or some sort of neutral color, but I really like this color green. Hopefully it's not too booby, but yeah, that's pretty much all I did. I also did do my skincare, or part of my skincare. I've been using these two. They're the Juice Beauty Organic Solution products. This is like a brightening emulsion. I've never heard of that before. I personally got recommended this brand by my boyfriend's sister, and she works at Ulta, and she told me that she's been using this brand and it's amazing. So I wanted to test it out. So far I really like how this leaves my face. It's supposed to be like a brightening treatment on your face. Like you can either wear it on its own or under moisturizer. It's supposed to kind of clear up dark spots, like kind of what I have going on here, like acne or just sun damage or anything like that. So that's why I wanted to try it out. I do suffer from dark spots here and there. And then I also picked up the brightening eye cream to kind of help with the discoloration around my eye. And although I haven't really noticed much of a difference because it's skincare, it takes a little bit for it to see results. I will say that I really like how these two products have been leaving my skin, and my skin feel really smooth, so I really, really like that. I've also been using the same type of like line for brightening for my cleanser, and I absolutely love that thing too. I feel like it really does a good job of removing any leftover makeup, and also I feel like it just is really gentle on my skin. I don't know if I have sensitive skin. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of skin type I have. I tend to get really red and like dry with certain products, so that's why I wanted to try something a little bit more gentle on my face, and so far I've been loving it. Since those two items are brightening treatments, they do recommend that you use SPF. I mean, you should be using SPF to begin with if you're going to be going outside, but just in general you should be using an SPF, especially if you're doing some sort of brightening treatment. Skin's going to be more prone to like sun damage. Currently I'm just using my Garnier Skin Active Clearly Brighter sunscreen moisturizer. I like how this feels on my face. It feels really moisturizing, but it doesn't feel heavy, and I feel like it absorbs into my skin really quickly. And obviously if I'm going to be doing my makeup, that's what I want. I don't want to feel like a heavy residue on my face, and this doesn't do that. It has a very citrusy scent. It's really like clean and fresh, and I really like it because I kind of feel like it makes me feel more awake. I just let that sit on my face while I prime my eyes. Sometimes I prime my face before I prime my eyes, but today, just because I'm actually gonna do an eyeshadow look, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes and do my eyes first. And what I like to use to prime my eyes is the LA Girl Pro Conceal concealer. It's in the shade Light Ivory, and I really like this shade because I feel like it really helps brighten my eye. Probably already tell a difference. I certainly can tell a big difference when I prime my lids with the concealer versus when I don't do that. It looks more like the rest of my skin, which is why I like to do this. But on top of that, I also like to brighten like my inner corner. What I like to do is I like to go in with a lighter concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Wear Camo Concealer, and it's in the shade Light Peach. I like to just dot a little bit. I take a brush. This is from Luxie. It's the Good Night brush. It was sent to me in an Ipsy bag, and it was part of like I think it was supposed to be in collab with like Harley Quinn, and there was also like a Superwoman one, but this is the one that I had in mind, and I absolutely love this brush. It's so good for blending out small spaces like this. As you can already see, it does bring out a lot of light from that corner now because of the light concealer that I put in there. I do set my concealer. I know a lot of people say that you shouldn't set your concealer, especially if you're using bright colors, but for me, I've noticed that the shadows that I use blend a lot better when I do set my eyes than when I don't. What I like to use to set my eyes, and I also use this sometimes all over my face and under my eyes, is the Airspun loose setting powder. I use mine in Naturally Neutral. So I take an e.l.f. concealer brush. I know a lot of people use this to actually blend concealer, but I really like using it to set my concealer. I'll say that I've never really been one to pay much attention to my eyebrows. I have pretty full natural eyebrows. Lately, I've been trying to put a little bit more attention on my eyebrows just to make them pop a little bit more. And sometimes when I take pictures, I notice that my eyebrows look really sparse. So to kind of help with that, I've been using the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil. And this one is in the shade Ash Brown. It says ash brown, but I kind of don't feel like it's that ashy, at least not on me. And I do have really dark hair, but what I do is I just kind of like to fill in the spots that I feel are missing a little bit of hair. Sometimes I like to do this before prepping my eyes, and sometimes I do it after because, like I said, I haven't been doing this very long, so it's kind of new to me, so sometimes I forget. But before I move on, I'm gonna go ahead and do this step. So I like to brush through my eyebrows, kind of brush my hairs up and over, so that I can see where I need to put product. And I'm just basically filling in the gaps. Disperse the product. Other side, I have a lot of gaps right underneath my eyebrow, which is where I try to concentrate the product on this brow. I have this Profusion palette. Wonderlust has a lot of colorful eyeshadows in here, so I want to use the greens in this palette. And I also have this Makeup Revolution palette. It's I don't know if it's called Reloaded Division, but that's what it looks like. There's some colors and some neutrals in here, and I kind of want to use the two greens in here as well. Before I forget, I'm just gonna go ahead and put on some pumping lip gloss from Buxom. I don't remember who I saw doing this, but I remember watching a makeup tutorial where a beauty guru kind of put on some pumping lip gloss before she started doing her makeup. Gloss is basically supposed to kind of make your lips fuller, more plump, and look youthful. I recommended doing this before doing your makeup so that it kind of preps your lips for lipstick and lip liner and everything else later on. I went on Instagram and tried to get some inspiration, and I did find these two photos right here. On the description it said like Poison Ivy, like the character. I thought it was a really cute idea, and I kind of want to recreate it. I'm using both of these colors as my transition little blending brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buff that in. It's just kind of what I've picked up from just doing my makeup on my own, and also just from watching makeup tutorial videos on how to do your makeup. So if you want to follow the way that I do it, you're more than welcome to, but obviously there are a lot more knowledgeable people out there that know how to blend and create some really amazing eye look. Again, all I'm doing is just mixing these two colors together. I kind of want to start off with a softer green from the Revolution palette. Use a fluffy brush. I'm gonna go ahead and dip my brush and start adding it to the edge of my eye. Maybe I should use a smaller brush. I'm gonna use this Luxie brush It's the small tapered blending brush, number 231. That way I can have a little bit more precise application. Start placing that color on the crease and on the inner corner. I don't want to close off my eye completely. Like, I don't want to make it small. So I don't think I'm gonna do a halo eye. I think I'm just gonna focus the majority of this color on the end. I'm gonna go back to that blending brush and kind of fuse the colors here a little bit.
Thomas Wolfe once said, "You can't go home again." Well, that's great for old Tom. But he wasn't a chick who made a pact with her friend.
So this is how my eyes are looking so far. I decided to add a little bit of the darker shade on the outer corners to deepen it up a little bit. And then I went in with a smaller like packing brush and I dipped in to the lighter shade on here, down here, and kind of tapped a little bit of color on my inner corners very slightly. I wanted to use this kind of green yellowy shimmer color in the Profusion palette. It's called Majesty. It's really pretty, so I kind of want to play with it. I've never used the color before, so I think I'm gonna go in with that, and instead of using a brush, I'm just gonna use my finger, my broken finger. Place it on the lid. That's a really pretty color, mostly in the center, but I will bring it a little bit into that inner corner again to brighten it up a little bit. I want you to be able to look at the colors a little bit better, so I just wanted to zoom you in a little bit. But as you can see, that shimmer color in the center is really beautiful. It's really bright. I feel like it really makes your eyes pop a little bit more. And all I did was blend out the edges a little bit just so that they weren't so harsh. I don't think I want to do a wing for this look, but I will add a little bit of eyeliner, darken up my lash line for when I put on falsies. Okay, I lied. I did go ahead and create the illusion of a small, tiny baby wing. And to start my base, I will be priming. I'm gonna be using 2 primers today. I really like using both of these. I feel like they really do make my makeup last. Studio Mattifying and Pore Minimizing Primer. I really like this. I feel like it really does help with the oils on my face because I have used this on its own and I've noticed a difference in my T-zone. We'll take the Essence Primer and concentrate it on my forehead and on my nose. That is where I get the oiliest. I instantly feel like my face feels a little tighter. I look at myself after applying this mattifying primer. I feel like it instantly does mattify me. And then for the e.l.f. Putty Primer, I like to just apply that everywhere else. Mostly on my cheeks because I do have a lot of pores in this area. So once I kind of let that set on my face and let it absorb into my skin a little bit, I go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 450 Rose Beige. And I feel like this foundation is a little bit dark for me, but I try to make it work with my concealer. I really like this foundation. I feel like the coverage is really nice, and I also like the finish because it's not very matte, but it's not dewy either. It just kind of gives you like a glow. But the only thing I will say is that the scent on this is really strong, and I don't know if that's really very good for your skin. You're not really supposed to be using a lot of things with fragrance, and this smells very perfumey to me. Really liking using this combination. I've been using the same e.l.f. concealer as I did earlier for my inner corner, and then to mix with it I use the A Girl concealer, but in the shade Classic Ivory because this one has more of a peachy undertone. So I go in with the LA Girl concealer first. I have found that the e.l.f. concealer can be a little bit drying like on its own. I have used it on its own in the past and I don't mind it too much. I just have noticed that it's a little more drying and it tends to crease underneath my eye if I don't use something a little bit more moisturizing under there. One with the e.l.f. concealer. I just like to dab a little bit underneath the eye because it is a lot lighter than my foundation. I don't want to do too much in that area. If I tend to put a little bit more, like I kind of did on this eye, I drag it down like the side of my nose, a little bit on top of my nose, and just kind of mix it in with my foundation. And I also like to brighten up my chin a little bit. Really get in on the corners of my mouth without getting it all over my lips. I like to take the same little brush from earlier and just blend out the edges. I also use this around my nose and between my eyebrows. I'm gonna go in with that same Airspun powder to set underneath my eyes using the same e.l.f. brush. And I like to set with a brush versus setting with my damp beauty sponge. And that's just because I feel like I don't necessarily need to bake. And I've noticed that I get less creasing when I set with a brush versus when I set with my makeup sponge. You're still getting creases underneath your eye when you set with your makeup sponge. I would try using a brush and lightly setting the area, because sometimes if you put too much powder under there, it tends to dry it out, and I feel like that's why a lot of people get creases. I'm just gonna use the same powder with a fluffy brush at the rest of my face. I don't like adding a lot of powder on the rest of my face because I feel like I don't really need it, especially with the setting spray that I use. But just with this foundation, because I feel like it's a little bit more, not necessarily dewy, but it's a little more tacky than other foundations, I feel like I have to set it in order for the rest of my products to apply smoother. I don't really contour very much, but just for the sake of calling it contouring, I use a darker shade. I use the NARS Laguna bronze with a small Morphe brush. I don't know what this is called, but it's just a smaller tapered brush. I use this color to start off my bronzer slash contour, and I mostly apply it at the bottom of my cheekbone, and I concentrate the majority of it on the side of my face because I just want to make sure my cheekbones are very defined, but I don't necessarily want to bronze my whole face with such a dark bronzer. I just want to make sure that my face looks chiseled and it looks cute, a little bit of color, but I don't want it to look completely darker than the rest of my body. The rest of my face, I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Bronzer on top of the NARS bronzer, just to add a little bit more color to my cheeks. This is the one that I use on the perimeter of my face, and I also contour my nose with it. I use quotation marks because I don't really know if what I'm doing is contouring. And I just really like how this color looks on my cheeks. I kind of feel like it looks a little bit like blush without being super peachy or super pink. So to contour my nose, I again go in with the same bronzer, and I go in with this other Morphe brush. I really wish I knew what these were called, but they all came in a set. All I do is basically draw 2 lines that go straight from where my eyebrow starts to the tip of my nose, where I have these little like dents. I don't know what these are called, but they look like little dents to me on my nose. I actually really like those little dents, I'm not gonna lie. And then sometimes I do it at the bottom of my nose. And at the top of my nose, I try to create the illusion of having a button nose, which I totally don't. I have a pretty big nose. I like to make it look a little bit smaller and cuter. And then just to blend out the edges, I take that same bronzer brush and just kind of smooth out and diffuse those harsh lines. So on camera it might be coming a little bit more harsh and like dark, but I swear in person it doesn't look that drastic. Go in with my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. I don't know if this is discontinued, but if it is, I'm really sad because I got this in a Ipsy bag a long time ago, and it's in the shade Feisty. I mean, it's lasted me a really good amount of time, but I am running low on it, and I don't think they sell this anymore because I've tried looking for it online and I couldn't find it. I'm just gonna take my blush brush from e.l.f. I like this color because I feel like it's just like a peachier bronze color, and I think it looks really pretty on the cheeks. And I like applying my blush kind of like how I apply my bronzer, because I feel like it kind of makes my face look slimmer. Not that I have a wide face, but I just kind of feel like it really complements my structure when I do it this way. I don't really set my face after my makeup is done. I like to set it before I finish my makeup with my e.l.f. Matte Blotting Mist. I love this. I've repurchased it like 4 times already, and I feel like this is amazing. It really does make my makeup last so well, and I feel like it really does mattify me like amazingly. It has clay in it, kaolin, I don't know how to say that, but it has some sort of clay in it, and like you can even see it before you shake it. It kind of has like, it almost looks like powder in here, but whatever it is, it's a blotting mist. It's amazing. I love it, and I feel like it really does make my makeup last, especially in my oily T-zone. So I just shake it up and spray it all over. I like to spray it, lay it, dry it a little bit, and then I also like to use my beauty sponge and press it into my skin. One, so that if there are any harsh drops on my face, it'll just kind of, instead of letting that drop stay there and kind of stain your makeup, it'll make it melt with your makeup. And 2, it kind of helps to make it last on your skin. And I think I learned this trick from Nicole Guerrero. She's amazing. She would know, so I trust her. Once I set my face with setting spray, then I will move on to my brow gel, and I'm using the Benefit Gimme Brow. I just started using this actually. I used to just use a drier formula mascara, which I feel like works just as well. Ran out of that, and I decided to give an actual brow gel a shot. So I have been using this one, and all I do is comb through my lashes, comb through my brow hairs and set them in place, because I do have very unruly brow hairs that tend to kind of go all over the place if I don't set them. So I went and popped on the Ardell Wispy lashes. I think they're Ardell. I'm pretty sure they're Ardell, but I can't remember what kind or style. But I just went and popped them on, and as you can tell, they're not very dramatic at all. I don't really like a dramatic lash, at least not yet. But this is what they look like. I did not put on mascara beforehand. I like putting mascara on after I've done my lashes, because I feel like it's easier to apply them. Then I go in with a mascara. Right now I've been using the Essence mascara. I don't really like this one very much, just because I feel like a drier formula works better with my natural lashes. But I do like it when I'm using falsies, because I feel like it really does make the lash more dramatic and stand out a little bit better. There you go. Your lashes are a lot more intense now. Don't worry, I will clean that up in just a second. So like going in with a lash curler to kind of make my lash band and my natural lashes a little bit closer together. I do this once my mascara has dried a little bit, because I obviously don't want to just completely ruin my lashes. And for my lower lash line, I think I'm gonna go in with this color called Hypnotic. So I'm not going in too much. I'm just gonna leave it on the outer corner with the mustard and the orange color from the Revolution palette. I'm just gonna go ahead and run that underneath. And then to tie everything together, I'm gonna go in with my LA Girl Glide gel liner, and this is in the color Limelight. I just put that in my waterline. I could just leave it like that with the green eyeliner, but since I do have the gold mine as well, I kind of want to see what it would look like. Okay, so I just added a little bit of mascara under there. I am really impressed with these two colors. To finish off my face, I'm gonna use some highlight, and I'm gonna use the Essence Pure Nude Highlight. I really like using this product, especially when my face looks a little bit more matte. Use this, and I feel like it just makes my skin look really radiant and youthful and pretty. So I kind of just use this all over. As you can probably already see, it's starting to make my face look really glowy, and it looks like it's naturally glowy. Days that I want my skin to look really golden and like sparkly and beautiful, I go in with my Ofra Rodeo Drive highlight, and I mostly just put this on my cheeks. So I just kind of make like a little circle on my cheek and then blend it out. Whenever I turn or smile, I feel like it just catches the light really pretty. I take a little pencil brush and apply it on my brow bone. For my lips, I'm just gonna go in with my favorite colors. I've been really loving this NYX lip liner in London. I think it's just from the Suede line, the NYX Suede. And I really like to really overline my lips. I mostly like to overline this side of my lip to create the same amount of fullness on both sides. And the bottom of my lip just a little bit to make it look more plump. And then I'll just fill it in. Some days I will literally just rock my lip liner on its own, and I think it looks really pretty. I really love this color on me. Other times, if I really want my lip color to last, I go in with the ColourPop, I can't say that. I go in with the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in Strip, and it's basically like the perfect match to the London lip liner. And I feel like this color on its own, being matte, is beautiful, and I would totally rock this. But if I want to be a little bit more extra, I will pop on a gloss. I'm not sure if I want to do that today because I feel like everything else is already glowing. I really like putting on the ColourPop Moonchild, I think it's called, from Kathleen Lights. I love that lip gloss. I feel like that's the only reason I got into lip gloss. I used to not really wear it because I thought it was, I don't know, juvenile to wear lip gloss, in my personal opinion. But now I love wearing lip gloss. I feel like it makes your lips look juicy, it makes them look bigger, it makes you look sexier. So I was just wrong. What my lip color looks like, just matte with my eye look. You know what? I'm gonna pop it on just so that you can see what it will look like with the lip gloss as well. So this is the final makeup look. I actually really love how this came out. I was not expecting it to like it this much. I was a little bit worried when I started doing the eyeshadow that it was gonna come out really dark and really blotchy and just ugly, but I feel like this whole color combination came out really nice. It makes my eyes look really bright and pop without away from the colorful look. I'm impressed with the products that I use and with my own skill, because like I mentioned, I'm not a makeup artist whatsoever, but I mean, it does help to watch a lot of YouTubers on here all the time doing their makeup. But yeah, that's everything on this look.